What's going on, guys? I'm here with a quick recap of the Week 4 games in the NFL season, and if you're wondering about the lack of gameplay in this one, I know the focus of these videos is really just what I'm talking about. The gameplay is just there kind of for background, so if you guys do prefer me to have some gameplay there, just something for you guys to look at, leave a comment in the comment section. If you guys do enjoy these recap videos, please do leave a like, I appreciate it. But looking into the games here, we'll start off. I did a recap video for the Thursday Night Football game with the Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. Game played out a lot like I thought it would. Baltimore's offense was better, but they weren't going to blow out the Browns, who have been pretty competitive in some of their games this year. But the Browns come up short in the end with Brandon Weeden unable to lead them to a victory. And Torrey Smith has another great week, and Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens moved to 3-1 on the year. My prediction for that game was 23-13 Baltimore. I was very close. Next up, New England against Buffalo, and I like New England in this game because I could not see them losing another game and going to 1-3 on the year. Buffalo has been an up and down team so far. I mean, they started off poor, played better in weeks 2 and 3, and of course they fell off this week, and Fitzpatrick threw a bunch of interceptions, and the Patriots rallied with like 42 or something in second half points. I forget how many it was exactly, but they win 52-28. I predicted 26-20, but obviously Belichick had other plans for the scoreboard. And New England bounces back after back-to-back losses to the Ravens and the Cardinals. Next up, San Francisco against the Jets, and I expected San Francisco's defense to just dominate the Jets' offense, and I didn't think they would lose this game because they lost to Minnesota and they were going to be angry this week. I predicted 23-10 though, and they go out and win 34-0, so it was a little bit more of a domination than I expected, but the 49ers get an easy victory on the road, and the Jets look like they're in major disarray right now, and I want to see how they do going forward, especially this Monday night against the Houston Texans. Next up, Seattle and St. Louis, and I debated this game a lot. Initially, I wanted to go with the St. Louis Rams, but I was like, how are they going to score against this team? I don't know how they're going to do it, but Seattle, they control the ball, they play good defense, they're going to win this game if Russell Wilson doesn't make turnovers, and he threw 3 picks, so there goes that. And the Rams got their points this week off 3 field goals, including a 60-yarder and a fake field goal touchdown pass from Hecker to Amendola. So there was a touchdown. I did not expect them to get this game. I predicted 4 field goals. I almost got it. They just faked one of them. And then Atlanta and Carolina. And Matt Ryan has been phenomenal this season, and the Panthers are coming off of a very bad loss against the Giants. And in the Georgia Dome, I got to take the Falcons against the Carolina Panthers, and I did, 34-17. But Carolina played much tougher. Cam Newton he bounced back a lot better in this game. And in the end, though, it was Matty Ice, Roddy White hooking up for a deep pass, and then Matt Bryant kicking home a field goal for the victory. And the Falcons get the win, 30-28, and move to 4-0 on the year, and are a very impressive team, especially that offense, and possible MVP candidate in Matt Ryan. Next up was the game that I was focused on Sunday, of course, my 2-1 Vikings against the 1-2 Detroit Lions. I had Minnesota winning 23-20, and Minnesota's special teams made Detroit pay in this one. The final score was 20-13, but Minnesota moves to 3-1 on the year and are a very big surprise right now with wins against the Lions and the 49ers. But both defenses played pretty well in this game, but the special teams was the X factor for the Vikings. 2 touchdowns, Percy Harvin and Marcus Sherrills, and the Detroit offense struggled on offense and could not put enough points on the board. Calvin Johnson was held to under 60 yards receiving and no touchdowns, and that is a big part of why the Minnesota Vikings won. So up to that point, I was 5-1 so far, and then I had KC beating San Diego. I have not been on the San Diego bandwagon this year. I don't hate the team by any means, but I question their offense. I have not questioned their defense, but KC, I did not expect them to have this many turnovers in this game. They got off to such a slow start. It was too big of a hole to dig out from. They lost by 17 in this one, and I was wrong. KC at home, I love their offensive firepower potential, but Matt Castle is not the quarterback that's going to be a consistent threat for them if they're going to be a good team. And many expected this team to be one of the top teams in the AFC West, and right now it's not looking very good for that offense and Matt Castle, especially if Brady Quinn gets some more snaps and possibly gets a start in the next couple of weeks. Next up, we have the Titans and the Texans, and I had Houston winning at home by 17, and the Titans got off to a poor start with Jake Locker getting hurt, obviously, and the Texans' defense is very good, but hey, Chris Johnson actually had some success this week, but it was not a difference maker at all as the Texans won this one very handedly, 38-14. Next up, we have Cincinnati at Jacksonville, and this is the last time I picked the Jaguars in an upset. I mean, I can't keep assuming that Blaine Gabbert can have that success he had in Week 1 against my Vikings. I thought that he was better this year, but, I mean, Blackman's done nothing. Robinson's been inconsistent with his health. Cecil Shorts only catches deep touchdown passes, and so I don't know what you can count on for this team because not even Maurice Jones-Drew played well this week after I expected him to carry this team to a victory, and so A.J. Green, he's too dominant, and the Bengals got the victory in this one, 27-10. No more picking the Jags in an upset for me, I guess. Next up, Denver at Oakland. This one was very one-sided. I expected it to be a little bit more competitive, but Peyton Manning shredded that defense like I thought he would, and the Oakland offense never got going. A very lopsided game, 37-6 in Denver, and that's really all I have to say about this game. I mean, Peyton Manning played very well, and the Raiders couldn't do a thing. And next up is Arizona and Miami, and I thought this game could be a trap game for the Cardinals, and indeed it was very close. I mean, Ryan Tannehill stepped up in this game. He found Brian Hartline for an 80-yard touchdown, but then Kevin Kolb comes back later, answers with Andre Roberts catching a touchdown pass, and they went to overtime, and the Cardinals ended up getting the victory. Very close, though. Teams are going to have scares throughout the year. That was one of them for the Cardinals, where they were able to hold on and get the victory, and that's what good teams have to do. And if they're going to remain a good team, they have to win games against the Dolphins and against teams that aren't very good. So the Cardinals get the victory in that one. I had predicted a 24-12 win. They win 24-21. Next up, we have Washington at Tampa Bay. I spent so much time on this prediction, and I took Tampa Bay, and they lost on a last-second field goal to Billy Cundiff, who had already missed 3 field goals in that game. And I thought that Tampa Bay could get this one pulled off because of the injuries on Washington's defense, and they almost did had Billy Cundiff miss that last kick. And I've expected Josh Freeman to play a lot better than he has this year, and their 2 best passing performances are against teams that have injuries in the secondary, the Washington Redskins, the New York Giants. And so they have to step up and play good in the passing game against a good defense if they're going to be competitive this year, because obviously their defense is not good enough to help carry them into games like the Vikings and the Cardinals are. I mean, their defenses are carrying their teams more than their offenses are. And so Washington wins 24-22 after I predicted 27-24 in favor of Tampa Bay. Next up, we have New Orleans at Green Bay, and Green Bay almost lost this game, or had an opportunity to lose this game, because of a blown call on a fumble that they called down by contact, and they didn't know who could get possession of the football, and it was just another mess for the Packers, but their defense held. And there was a penalty that backed up a possible game-winning field goal for the Saints. I mean, the Packers would still had a chance to win the game, but they were down by 1, missed the field goal. They're 0-4 this year. I mean, I expected them to play a lot better. But I had Green Bay winning this game by 14, and instead they win by 1 point, so it's still a victory for me at least. And then Sunday Night Football, I took the Giants over the Eagles, and it was a last-second missed field goal for Lawrence Tynes that ended up giving the Giants a loss. And Philly, I mean, Michael Vick didn't make enough mistakes in this game, I guess, for the Giants to win. I mean, I expected them to have a couple more turnovers in this one. And this defense is obviously much better than the Carolina defense, where they thrived from the passing game, and this week Ramses Barden was held in check, and there was obviously no Hakeem Nicks, so I think that definitely hurts against a good defense. Wasn't much of a factor in week 3. But Philly gets the victory 19-17, and they are 3-1 with 2 one-point victories and a 2-point victory. So we'll see if they can get some more convincing wins here soon. But they're 3-1 no matter how you want to look at it. Record is the only thing that matters. Next up is the last game of the week, Chicago at Dallas, and I had predicted a ton of interceptions in this game, but I predicted a lot more of them to be for Jay Cutler. It was 5 for Romo, 0 for Cutler. So great game for the Bears. Their defense was making a lot of plays, obviously. They had 5 interceptions. But this was a very convincing win on the road for the Bears, who are now tied with the Minnesota Vikings, or still tied, I should say, with the Vikings on top of the NFC North. And so Chicago wins this one after I had predicted the Cowboys to win 25-19. And so overall with my picks last week, I went 9-6. Not a great week. I mean, I whiffed on the Jacksonville upset pick. And I had 2 games not go my way because of last-second field goals, but it was 9-6. I definitely bounced back, and hopefully I can continue to improve and have a better week this week. I'll have my Week 5 picks up probably on Saturday. I'll preview Thursday Night Football like I do every week. And so once again, guys, if you could please leave a like on the video, I'd really appreciate it. But thank you for watching the video. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.